Well, hello there, it's Beards and Bangers, and today we're going to give Derek the BMW 330Ci some love. It's not just me in this video, we've got young Simon from Smashing Piston.
Young Simon?
Young Simon.
Oh, is that because you're older now, you have to say
no,
young?
I have to say that. So, yeah, and we've also got Matt here. Hello. With his stick, of course. With the stick. So what we're going to be doing, I'll show you after the introduction. Right, so we're not doing a full respray anything like that. We're gonna just do a couple of smart repairs. So we've got this area on this rear quarter, which is not very metallic, but yeah, we can see lacquer. We've got paint it's gone a bit crazed. So try and get this rust out as well as best we can. So it's not a permanent fix. It's very much a temporary fix. So the car looks a little bit nicer over the summer. If we get time, we will just treat the rust on this arch here as well. Don't know how well you can see the other side. That arch is actually all right, so we can leave that one for today. Just have a look at remind myself. So many cars I have to remind myself. Yeah, and that one needs some attention as well. But we'll tackle this side as the priority because it
looks horrible.
Yeah. So Simon's I'm just gonna stand and watch Simon working because it's one of those. So job number one is to mask off what we don't want covered in rust converter, primer, colour coat and lacquer. Although lacquer's actually not so bad. While Simon's doing that, so he'll just mask off a few areas. I'm going to grab the panel wipe and some some blue roll, because the important thing with, I'll turn you around, the important thing with these paint correction jobs is to panel wipe everything all the time. Because if you don't, you get a reaction, dust. We're inside, so the unit's fairly clean, but we are in an agricultural area, so it's dusty. There's a lot of hay making going on at the moment. Making hay in the sunshine, that is. Yeah, so that does produce dust. So we've got to be a little bit mindful of that. So Simon's doing kind of a few positions of. And the other key thing with this, when you're blowing paint in, is not to have the masking tape too tight. Otherwise, you end up with a line which you then got to sand back, which is a pain in ass.
Yeah, you don't want it too tight, do you? No. As you say, if it's too tight, it is a pain in your ass,
yeah,
isn't it?
Exactly. Like a duck's ass. We've got some bin bags. Simon's brought some. I've got some sandpaper somewhere, but we've got, to show you what else we've got in our little kit. So bin bags just for kind of closing areas. I've got some lacquer, got some etch primer. So etch is acidic, it eats into the metal or the substrate. It just gives you a really good key for the paint. Then I've got my friends from Mutaf Car Parts to make me some BMW Titan Silver paint, which is apparently what this colour is.
Titan Silver?
Well, Titan Silber. It's German, a German colour. But yeah, that's our colour coat. So I'm just going to pause while Simon's masking that off and find the panel wipe, and the blue roll is behind me, so that's easy enough. Right, we're all masked up. So bin bag over the wheel, taped on, just taped around. So this area, we're going to attack this area. What grit are you going to start off with, Simon?
I think I'll start with 400.
So fairly coarse. Yeah. So what we really want to do is get back to metal where we've got this rust here, because then we can get rid of that bubbling. If necessary, we'll wire brush it as well, if it's that bad. Ooh. And then we've got the Genelite rust converter, which is pretty good stuff. So it turns the rust blue, basically. I think there's some other products available, so we're not sponsored by Genelite by any stretch of the imagination. Not sponsored by anyone yet, but
you can use marmalade, can't you?
Yeah. Oh well, that's
for another video.
That's for another video. And of course, we're referring to Simon and my joint channel, The Crankcases. So do check that out. Although we haven't had time. It's been so busy, hasn't it, recently?
Norman's been on holiday, so
yeah. So we'll just get, what's I'm going to do is get this, excuse me, hay fever is really bad. Get these bubbly bits off, get that crazed bit kind of flatted right back. I suspect that paint will just start flying off when we go anywhere near it with sandpaper. And where it can be, where there is metal, we'll genelite it. I'll say this is not a permanent fix by any means. This is a just a little smart repair just to make the car look more presentable for the rest of the summer. But I'm a realist. I do know that I've got to get some new metal in here at some point. But I've got another project which you haven't seen yet, which has got more bodywork to do, so that's going to be the priority. So we'll get this flatted back, and then we'll show you the genelite and just the little stages to get this corner looking a little bit better than it is now. Yeah, so Simon's just going through the painstaking process. I could be doing some of this myself, but it's my birthday weekend. I don't have to do any work.
What were your excuse last time?
Something probably. Yeah, just little circular motions, just flat it back. You can see it's. Can you see filler there?
I don't know whether it's filler or undercoat. Because we're not going deep.
Well, that grey is the same colour as the engine bay, which isn't lacquered. BMW engine bays aren't lacquered either, so it's not just MG Rover.
Maybe it were a BMW idea then.
Maybe. So yeah, so we'll just keep doing this. I will do some sanding in a minute. I might start tackling the front arch. I really want to focus on this bit rather than sort of starting bits and then not finishing it, because I'm going to drive the car home later on. Right, so Simon's sanded this right back. I'm not going to finger it because
I am.
Simon's got the panel wipe.
Happy with that.
He's not happy with it, so you've got to just take your time, get it nice and flat. You can see the rusty bit there is not perfect, but that's not going to be. That's going to need new metal. I mean, you could get that a lot smoother with sort of electrical sanding, but then you're stripping a lot more material off. What grit have you gone? You still on the 400?
Yeah. It's just a couple of little, because it's been crazed before. It's just lifted a bit more.
Yeah, so you can just feel it's not quite
flat. And I didn't bring a sanding block either.
I can probably fashion something out of some wood actually. Yeah.
I think we're too far past it.
Oh well. So we'll get this flatted back a bit more, and then we'll show you the next stage in a sec. Right, while Simon's fettling in the background, I'm also going to put a new bonnet badge on, because this one is, I'll show you, this one's pretty faded. So it's not disastrous, but I think that'll look a lot nicer with a new bonnet badge. We'll do that as well. I'm also going to get some new number plates. I think new number plates always look nice. And the only other thing which I'll get done fairly soon is changing the wheels over. So if I pop that badge down for a second, and we'll go to the back of the unit and I'll show you the wheels as best I can. So I don't know how well you can see. It's pretty dark at the back of the unit, but yeah, here's the replacement wheels for Derek. So yeah, going to get these freshly powder coated. But yeah, they'll go on at some point and they'll look nice. They're actually off an E91, so they're from a slightly later variant of the 3 Series. But yeah, get those on at some point as well. Right, so Simon's panel wiped this off. I'm just going to put a little bit of Genelite just around here. Did you go under there as well?
Yeah, a little bit.
So we'll just put a little bit of this stuff on. And a little bit under there as well. And what that'll do is that'll rusty. We can always actually see it's starting to go blue slightly. So it converts it into a paintable surface. So we'll let that go off. Panel wipe again. So that panel wipe between coats is really important. It's dusty in here now. Simon's been sanding for the last 15-20 minutes. So if that gets picked up by the paint or on top of the paint, and you're trapping that in between layers, that's when you get reactions and stuff like that. So we'll just let that go off, wipe it down, then there'll be some etch primer going over the whole piece up there, which will be good. So I've just shaken the etch primer. So some people are just so noisy. Some people are just so noisy. So yeah, make sure with rattle cans, everything is nice and agitated. I'm just going to give this a quick panel wipe, I think, because
good idea.
I have fingered it. So Matt, if I can ask you to hold the camera, and we'll get some blue roll, the ubiquitous blue roll, and some.
Matt, you all right up there?
Bit of panel wipe, don't need too much. That'll just get any grease, because obviously we just had sandwiches, donuts, all that kind of stuff. So we'll just panel wipe the whole surface. And then that means the etch will not react when we spray it on, which Simon's about to do now.
So we'll give it a minute or two to dry off.
It evaporates pretty quick, doesn't it, panel wipe?
It kills fish though.
It's supposed to go black.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It kills fish though. You can just press it. Oh, you assume that's a fish. Looks more like an oven glove.
Yeah, we don't inhale
Oven
So
gloves.
be careful with this stuff. I ended up in hospital after using cellulose thinners, which are fairly similar. So things like brake and clutch, panel wipe, thinners, be careful. We have got a hive of activity happening up here today. So Matt spins the camera around because we've got Diana parked up over there because she is going to be prepared for sale. So Austin and Lewis are going to be doing some cleaning. I've got a pressure washer set up. Going to do some decontamination, polish, headlining, various bits and bobs like that. So we'll try and get that on camera as well. I might set up another GoPro on a tripod in a sec actually, just so we can capture that. But now the panel wipe's dry, we can do this little quarter here. So I'll rest the camera back from that briefly.
Thanks, Matt.
Try not to inhale too much of this. We are in an open barn, so it's...
Witness me.
Yeah. So just mist it on, don't need to flood it. Let it build up nice and slowly.
Sorry, Rob, I just sprayed you in the face.
That's all right.
Let's leave it like that for now.
So that's all we've done. Just a bit of etch. That should polish out, shouldn't it?
Yeah, we'll
Any overspray like that. Got a bit of dust up on that window. That should come off. That'll be all right.
be right.
We'll get that off. So let that go off now for I don't know, this temperature. What was it today? Mid-20s, something like that. That's going to dry in about 5 minutes. We can already see there's a little bit of it's like a little insect or something just landed.
That's
there.
annoying, isn't it?
So you have to just pick those out once it's dry. But Simon has got some filler primer as well, which it might be an idea to just put a bit of filler primer there, just because we've got those little rust marks. So we'll continue building this up, and then we'll move on to the colour code. Right, so Simon's just adjusted the masking ever so slightly, because the contours are going to get a bit of a line and a build up, so you'd have like a ridge, and you'd have to be forever flattening it back. So Simon's just wet sanding that area with 1200 grit, so much finer. And of course, if we do end up with a line, we can wet sand it back anyway with 2,000 or 3,000 grit, so really fine sandpaper. But very key important thing: never leave a car with etch on it, because primer is hydrophilic, so it likes water, so it'll absorb it, and you'll know with problems. So make sure you get some kind of coating on top of your primer ASAP. Obviously today's fine, it's a beautiful day out there. And what this will do is just prevent that line happening. Oh, obviously, we're just giving a bit of a better key as well
Yeah.
for the paint. And this is something Simon's really, the reason I get Simon to come and help me with this or do it is because he's a patient person. I am not. And I'd be a bit more slapdash, I have to say. So yeah, hopefully this will just make the car look a bit nicer for the rest of the summer. So we're just going to swap out filler primer because we've got these just little imperfections down here where those rust bubbles were.
Excuse me.
So, Simon's not doing something weird. He's actually trying to open his filler primer. So he's giving it a good agitation, and then we'll get this on. Just hopefully this will get a slightly better build up on those imperfect bits. I mean, I'm very happy because it's going to get rid of that nasty crazed. Yeah, so filler primer just a little bit thicker. Is it going into those?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I think they're a bit deep for it to...
Yeah. Which probably really is a bit of filler, but so this is a temporary fix. I know I've got to budget at some point for some new panels and some welding on this car, but I think it's worth it because I do think these are future classics. They're probably the last decent BMW 3 Series, in my opinion. Cue the hate. Right, colour coat time. So I get these cans from a local paint place, and you give them the code, and they mix it up. Takes about 10 minutes. I also got my new battery for this because the battery on this decided to die the other day. So we'll let Simon continue because obviously you get a consistent kind of consistent strokage with the
Consistent stroke.
consistent strokage.
I didn't sign up for that kind of thing.
So a little test.
Scary.
I just hope these don't clog. Shouldn't do, it's not cold. It's definitely silver.
Right, let's leave that one to go off.
So probably in this heat you want to leave 5 minutes between coats.
Yeah, probably. We'll check it.
Yeah, colder temperature you'd go probably 10, maybe 15. But I say it's probably mid-20s today. I've not actually checked to see what it is, but
22 degrees.
22 degrees is it?
Well,
Feels warmer.
warm.
So we'll leave that. Nice colour actually. So second coat going on, just misting it on, build it up really gently. And because we're in an open ventilated space, it's a little bit safer than when I was doing it in my shed, which was Trey's silly. It's definitely the right colour, which is lucky because you sprayed it now. So you do quite a lot of spray painting, rattle can spray painting, don't you?
Yeah, on small parts of people's cars.
Mainly Matt's streetwise, but yeah, I think that's going to look all right.
It's going to look better than it did before.
That is, yes, extremely possible. That was quite.
Extremely possible.
It was quite ugly, I have to say, that nasty patch. But we say this just so it looks a bit better when I'm driving it around. Right, so while we're waiting for the paint to dry, rather than watching it, we shall remove the badge, which we can just do with a trim removal tool and a microfiber just to protect the paintwork. That's coming off incredibly easily. There we are. So that badge just pops off. You've got the two lugs on the back. Just going to grab some pliers. Because we've got these two little grommets, so it fixes in with these two little grommets here. Which we can just attempt to pull out. We'll give this one a go. They will come out eventually.
This is better than watching a paint dry.
Well, that's true.
Productive.
Oh, God. Let's go back to the screwdriver, I think, just to try and...
Do they need to come out there?
yeah, because I think the fresh ones will be a bit...
There.
There we are, that's one out. So that trim roll tool's quite good because it's got a little claw. There we are. So that's out. So I'm just going to give this a clean up off camera, and then we'll refit the old one, the new one even. So I've got a genuine badge kit, 15 quid off eBay, 2 new little grommets, so they can just go in these holes. I'm all fingers and thumbs, of course I am.
Can we just pause for a jerk from Matt?
So they go in like that.
Come on, you know what I'm on about.
I'm being quiet. They're all getting... My jokes are terrible today.
You got 2 new grommets, did you get any Wallisers?
Oh, some Wednesday will be rather nice, wouldn't it?
My jokes are bad enough today.
So, new badge. Just has got a protective, it has got a protective film on it, which is good. I was thinking it had some kind of nasty peel, but it has got a, because it's German and it's very well made, it's got this protective coating on it, which we'll just prise off.
Nobody normally likes what this is. Normally people look at
Wallace and Gromit's alright. And then we just...
reference to a grommet. Normally people look at this, what's a grommet?
And that will just press in there. I'll just give it a bit more. There we are, that's it. So, if we go right in close, new badge, old badge. And it's just little things like that that for me make a massive difference to the appearance of the car. Obviously Simon's great work with the paint is going to help as well. So 2 things I wanted to accomplish today. 1 we've nearly finished, 1's just been done. So that's good news. Right, so colour coat is done. Simon's just flattening back where we've got just a couple little lines where the masking was, but actually up here is all right. Just needs a very, very light flattening back. Yeah, there's a bit of imperfection there, but they can't do anything about that. That's a bodywork issue. But yeah, the colour actually looks really nice. So I think that's going to take the lacquer really nicely and look good. I really do think. Make sure we give it a good panel wipe up there because we've got a little bit of bit of dust up there.
Going to give it that flat back as well.
Yeah.
What I'll do is I'll just do a general one all across that bit. Leave that bit because that's fairly flat
Yes,
as it
yeah.
is.
Bit down here, and then
Yeah, on that line. And then lacquer it.
So we'll just get this done off camera, and then we shall bring you the clear coat or lacquer. Right, so just flatted back over those lines. Simon's just giving it one last panel wipe, and then we're going to do the lacquer. Now, lacquer, you don't panel wipe between coats. You just literally get it on, I think, literally a few minutes between each coat in this weather, because it is going to dry extremely quickly, and you want it tacky as each coat goes on, so it builds up really quickly, thick and strong.
I'm just covering that bit up.
Yeah, that don't need lacquer. Well, it gets opened enough, so it's probably the paint's probably going to wear out one day. But, although I did get good economy on this the other night, so I bought another project which I will reveal to you people. You might have already seen that video before we see this one. Don't know how it's going to go yet, but I managed to get 48 mpg on a run in this, which I was very pleased about. So we'll let Simon grab the lacquer. We'll give it a good old shake up, which you don't need to see. And then we'll really give it a misting and then start flood it on once you've got a base coat of lacquer. Right, here we go. Lacquer time. So misting for the first coat.
Don't breathe it in.
Smells lovely, but it's really bad for you. So just be careful. We're in a very well ventilated space. I've said it before, if you are lacquering in a confined space, you need mechanical extraction or an oxygen fed mask. There's no two ways about it. I was doing that in too confined a space, even with a FP3 mask on. And my resting heart rate went to 130 and I was in hospital. So just please be very, very careful with lacquer. So one little mist on now, then give it literally 2 minutes, no panel wipe, and then we'll start flooding it on. Okay, so Simon's about to do the second coat. I think probably a little bit more on this time. Like this, so really begin to flood it on.
Don't breathe it in again.
Okay, so again, we'll give that another couple of minutes and repeat. Right, here we go, third coat. I reckon. Yeah, I reckon so.
Oh yeah, that's better.
All right.
Don't breathe it in.
Right, probably another 2 coats, I reckon.
Yeah.
And then we'll just leave it then and let it go hard. It won't take long. I'll obviously have to be very careful driving home later on. Right, Simon and me are having a sit down now because it's blooming hot in here, and Simon's done a lot of work. I've just been, yeah. But yeah, so here's the finished result. So infinitely better than it was. That's come up really nice. Obviously, we're going to leave it now. Not going to take any more of this protection off until that's dried. So we'll give it like an hour just to harden, and then what I'll do in a couple of weeks is flat it back with some 2000 grits, wet sandpaper. Just will take the top coat off and then polish it with some probably use super resin, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then a bit of a Maguire's wax. I'll spin you around. So thank you for watching. Thank you to Simon from Smashing Pistons.
You're welcome.
For doing this little smart repair on the BMW. I will do the arches myself at some point. Obviously, we've got that nasty blemish repaired, new badge. So this car's beginning to get some love, and it won't be the end of the journey, that's for sure, with Derek, because I really do quite like this BMW. It's rather nice, and someone else rather quite likes it as well, because he drove it earlier. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll see you again very soon next episode of Beards and Bangers. Check out Smashing Pistons.
Bye.
Goodbye.